Hello, welcome to Muck Backwards, but you may know me as Thinterceptor. Today we are going to be seeing if we can beat Pokemon Brilliant Diamond using only our starter Pokemon. This is my first ever Pokemon video and the first video on this new channel. Before we start, let's go over the rules for this challenge. There are no items allowed in battle, only held items. We are only allowed to use our starter Pokemon in battle, but we will be forced to use a useless Magikarp as a teammate for one battle much later. This game does have HMs, but you only have to have the HM and the required gym badge, so no need to catch Pokemon for that. Wild Pokemon will just use the moves for you. Starting out, we name ourselves Sam and our rival Finn. Shout out Fintech. We choose Chimchar as our starter, who I believe will be the best Pokemon in the long run. We defeat the Wild Starly, named Chimchar Torch after one of my good friends and moderators, and we get the Pokedex from the professor. Torch has a rash nature, which means more special attack and less special defense. This is great for fire type attacks, but very bad for defense because we are now even more vulnerable to psychic attacks. We say goodbye to Mom, defeat the 3 trainers on Route 202, learn Ember at level 6, move on to Jubilife City where we talk to Dawn and then Finn in the school. We get the Poketch and leave for Route 203 where we have our first rival battle. We get so close to victory, but unfortunately lose to Piplup, who just has too much health. We need to get a few more levels. We defeat the 2 trainers in the school with Abras and the 3 trainers on Route 204. We learn Taunt at level 9 and try the fight again at level 10. The fight is now a breeze and we move ahead on Route 204 East and into Oreburgh Gate. We get Rock Smash and move through the gate. I thought that we would have to face some rock type trainers here, but turns out that they are all optional, so I was able to skip them all and go straight to Oreburgh City. I forgot to mention it at the start, but we are doing minimum battles, or at least attempting to. We are only fighting optional trainers when we are too low of a level to progress any further, at which point we will go back and fight those optional trainers. We go to the mine to get Rourke to go back to the gym and then go challenge him. Since he resists all of Chimchar's moves, we stand no chance and get destroyed. We go back to the mine and fight the trainers we skipped as well as the gym trainers, which gets us to level 12 where we learn Power Up Punch. Power Up Punch is going to become the most useful move for this entire run. It is a 40 base power fighting move which raises our attack stat by 1 when used. However, it is still not enough and I'm still getting destroyed by Rourke due to my lack of health. I go back and fight the trainers I skipped in Oreburgh Gate in the previous route, where we reach level 14 and Torch evolves into Monferno and learns Mach Punch. We take another shot at Rourke and succeed on our second attempt. It should also be mentioned that Monferno is a fire fighting type now, allowing us to partially resist Rourke's rock type moves, making them do normal damage since we are weak to it with fire type. Geodude spams Defense Curl, allowing us to get to +4 attack heading into Onix. We almost one-shot, but he survives due to his ability Sturdy. This allows us to get our 6th and final power-up punch, making us +6 heading into his final Pokemon, Rampardos, who dies to a single Mach Punch. We have gotten the first gym badge. We pick up Flash on our way back to Jubilife City and fight with Dawn against the Team Galactic Grunts, who go down in 2 turns. We move through Ravaged Path and onto Route 204 North. We arrive at Floroma Town and go straight to Valley Windworks. We defeat the Door Grunt and then go to Floroma Meadow to defeat the Grunts and get the key. On our first attempt against Commander Mars, we get her last Pokemon down to a sliver of health before going down. We come right back and Zubat uses U-turn, forcing Purugly to be sent in. We beat her and then Zubat goes down easily. We heal up and then head north onto Route 205. Surprisingly, not a single trainer here is necessary. All of them are spinners that we can just wait out and then walk past. We get to Eterna Forest where we are forced to team up with Cheryl. Luckily, we are only forced to do a single double battle with her because the only other forced battle can be split into 2 single battles by talking to each trainer individually. We make our way through Eterna Forest, get cut from Cynthia, and go on to challenge the gym. To say this was a joke would be an understatement. In this gym, you are forced to fight every single trainer. Between all 4 trainers, we lose a total of 2 health. Torch learned Flame Charge once reaching level 19, so we replace Ember and fight Gardenia. We let Torch hold a Cherry Berry, since I know that her ace Roserade loves to start with Stun Spore. She leads with Cherubi, who gets one-shot by Flame Wheel. She sends out Turtwig, who survives one Flame Wheel, lands a very weak Razor Leaf, and then gets healed by a Super Potion and falls to a Mach Punch, followed by another Flame Wheel. Her last is Roserade, who goes for Stun Spore. My Cherry Berry is eaten, removing my paralysis. I land Flame Wheel for big damage, and she goes for Stun Spore again. It lands, but I hit through the paralysis and take her down to claim the second gym badge. We then go to the Eterna Galactic building, where we crush all of the Team Galactic members and face off against Commander Jupiter. She has a very stacked Skuntank, who poisons us and takes us down, although it was very close. We come back, but this time give Torch a Pecha Berry to force Skuntank to use Poison Gas twice. She sends out Zubat, and despite us getting confused, we take it down in 2 Flame Wheels. Last is Skuntank. We shrug off our confusion and land a Flame Wheel. She goes for Poison Gas, which lands, but we eat our berry to cure ourselves. I land another Flame Wheel, and Skuntank eats her Citrus Berry to heal her. Skuntank once again lands a Poison Gas, poisoning us. We land 3 more Flame Charges, the last of which crits to kill her. It definitely would not have killed her if not for the crit. We take Skuntank's aftermath damage and barely survive on 2 health. Very close. We go get the bike as well as the Explorer's Kit in case we need it later. We will. We register both and leave to go south on the cycling road. There are no required battles on the cycling road nor on Route 206. We meet Cyrus in Mount Coronet and move through Route 208 and into Hearthome City. We talk to Fantina and then go south to face Finn. We get very bad luck on our first attempt and get through on the second attempt. Nothing special here, we just ramp up our attack with Power Up Punch, tank a Bubble Beam from Prinplup, barely surviving on 11 health, and then get lucky when Ponyta doesn't attack, allowing us to kill it in 2 moves. His last Pokemon is Roselia, who falls to 1 Flame Wheel. We now move on to Route 215, where we find our first roadblock. The double battle of Ace Trainer Dennis and Ace Trainer Maya. They are 2 unavoidable trainers located right at the end of the route. They are supposed to be a double battle, but since we only have 1 Pokemon, they challenge us one at a time. Ace Trainer Maya is mildly annoying, having a Kadabra with Psybeam who can one-shot us whenever he so chooses. However, it is a one-shot kill with Flame Charge as long as we are in Blaze, and he doesn't hit us with Psybeam, as he does outspeed us. Ace Trainer Dennis is a monster. He leads off with Monferno, which does allow us to build up a few power-up punches. However, he typically deals about 20 or so damage before we can kill him, as well as additionally lowering our defenses with Leer. We always get through him, and then drop instantly to his next Pokemon, Gyarados. A water flying type, which is the absolute worst scenario for our Monferno, who is a fire fighting type. He resists all of our moves except Tackle, and he always goes for Waterfall turn 1, which I will learn one-hit KOs me even if I am at full health. I try this 2 or 3 times, always failing the same way. I'm not going to get through this by trying over and over again. I need to learn a new move. 2 moves pop into my head as options that I know Torch can learn. Grass Knot and Rock Tomb. I tried teaching Grass Knot first, but since flying resists grass, it does neutral damage and is a 3 or 4 hit kill. So I reset my save to not lose the TM and teach Rock Tomb to Monferno. It is a 60 power, 95 accuracy rock type move, which means it will be super effective against Gyarados due to its flying type. This is my best chance at victory. I go back to the fight, hit Monferno with 3 power-up punches, and then comes out Gyarados. I used Rock Tomb, and am shocked to see it do about 85% of his health. All I need now is for him to not use Waterfall, and we get it. He uses Ice Fang instead, allowing us to land a final Mach Punch, taking him out. We are now onto Veilstone City and can go straight to Mei Lin's fighting gym. We fight the 2 necessary trainers and take a shot at the leader at level 28 and get destroyed. Her second Pokemon is a level 27 Machoke with Bulldoze, which kills us from full health. We need to get a few more levels before attempting again. We make our way back to Route 215 and defeat one of the optional trainers from before. The reason we weren't allowed to fight him until we were stuck was because he was not necessary. However, behind him, he hides a Fist Plate, which increases our fighting type move damage by 20%. This will prove very useful going forward, so we give it to Torch to hold. Like I said before, held items will be allowed. They are not in-battle items. While defeating trainers, we head into the Lost Tower on Route 209, defeat the few trainers, and get the TM for Strength, which will be required later. I thought I might have a chance to beat Mei Lin now, so I went back at level 32 after clearing out the rest of the gym leaders. Through these attempts, I've learned that her first Pokemon, Meditite, is extremely harmless. It has Drain Punch, Light Screen, Flash, and Bulk Up. On almost every attempt I had, it used Light Screen first, followed by Flash turn 2. Even at level 32, Power Up is a 3-shot kill, allowing me to enter Machoke with +3 attack, despite it not being very effective. That puts me at a huge advantage, especially since I now have the Fist Plate additionally boosting the power of my fighting type moves. It doesn't make any sense to use Flame Charge in this gym, since neither Machoke nor Lucario resist fighting moves, and both Fire and Fighting are super effective against Lucario due to its dual Steel typing. We enter Machoke with full health and use another power-up punch, which almost kills. Luckily, he uses Low Sweep, which does about 40% of her health. He can use Bulldoze, which does almost all of our health. Low Sweep lowers our speed, so I decide to finish it with a Mach Punch just in case he would have outsped us. Mei Lin uses a Hyper Potion, so we go for another Mach Punch, and she yet again uses a Hyper Potion. Unfortunately, at this point we miss an attack due to the accuracy drop from Meditite's Flash and lose to Bulldoze followed by Low Sweep. We go straight back in and get even better luck against Meditite. He goes for Light Screen and then Bulk Up. We kill him with 3 power-up punches and head into Machoke with the same attack boost, but with no drops in accuracy. Unfortunately, he uses Bulldoze, lowering our speed, and we take him out with 2 power-up punches, which means we are at +5 attack going into Lucario. I know that a Mach Punch probably kills since it is super effective, and I was right. We defeat this gym on our second attempt after leveling up, claiming the Cobble Badge. 3 down, 5 to go. We team up with Dawn to take down the 2 Galactic Grunts, pick up the TM for Fly, and make our way south to Pastoria City to take on the next gym. The 4th gym is Crasher Wake, the Water-type gym. I expected this to be a very hard gym since we are weak to water. We beat the necessary gym trainers and challenge Crasher Wake at level 34. Unfortunately, I was correct. He leads with Gyarados, which is the Pokemon who stumped us before. We got through it last time by teaching Rock Tomb, so we will try that again. And it fails, epically. Despite our 7-level advantage, Rock Tomb is doing less than a third of Gyarados' health. That means that we will have to survive 3 attacks from Gyarados in order to kill him. Due to his dual flying typing, fighting moves are resisted, so those aren't an option. Also, water resists fire, in case you didn't know. I took a look at learning Grass Knot, but that is also a 4-hit kill. Not helpful. I decide that there is no chance for me to take him out at this level, so I go south of Pastoria to Route 212. I cleared out a few trainers here, as well as some of the gym trainers that I skipped, and leveled up to level 36, replacing Mach Punch with Close Combat. Monferno evolves into his final form, Infernape. Close Combat is an extremely good 120 base power, 100 accuracy fighting type move. Only downside is that it lowers your defense and special defense by 1 stage after using it. It also only has 5 PP. With the extra stats and health, I decide to go back and take another shot at Crasher Wake. This time goes much better. Due to us now being a higher level, Rock Tomb is a 3-shot kill instead of 4. That means that Torch only has to take 2 brines from Gyarados before he goes down. Instead of using a third, we anticipate him healing and decide to get an attack boost from Power Up Punch since he was very low on HP. With this attack increase, we are able to kill him on our following Rock Tomb. Next up is Quagsire. He has moves like Mud Shot and Scald, both of which are super effective against me. But I went for close combat and one-shot him with the attack increase. Last out is Floatzel, who uses Aqua Jet to outspeed me and finishes me off. I think it's safe to say that Floatzel will always use Aqua Jet, so I need to have more health going into Floatzel if I want to win. I reset and try again immediately. However, this time I have a new strategy. I start off with Power Up Punch instead of Rock Tomb. This does much less damage, but allows any future attacks to do much more damage. For some reason, he decides to go for Ice Fang instead of Brine, so I use a Rock Tomb pushing him into healing range. He goes for Brine and then heals up with a potion. I use a Power Up Punch, which allows my next Rock Tomb to finish him off. Let's just quickly compare our situation last time going into Quagsire. I now have 71 health as opposed to 53 I had the previous time, and this time I am +2 attack instead of +1 attack. We just have to hope that we survive Aqua Jet from Floatzel. Out comes Quagsire, who again falls to close combat. Last is Floatzel, who for whatever reason just doesn't use Aqua Jet. Close combat is a 1-hit KO, getting Torch and I our 4th gym badge, the Fen badge. I thought that this would be so much worse. Every gym leader from now on should be much easier, or so I thought. We start to chase the Team Galactic Grunt, but get stopped by Finn, who wants to battle. To be completely honest, I completely forgot about this battle, and I was not prepared, but it was a complete joke. He sent out Starly first, who fell to 1 Power-Up Punch. Next is Prinplup, who is an easy one-shot with close combat. In fact, that was probably a one-shot kill with Power-Up Punch as well, I just didn't check the range, so I just used close combat to be safe. Ponyta comes out and suffers the exact same fate to a Rock Tomb. Last is Roselia, who is burnt to a crisp with Flame Wheel. We used all 4 of our moves there. The rival will get more challenging later on, but he's kind of a pushover in the early to mid game. We chase the Galactic Grunt to the lake, defeat him, and receive the secret medicine from Cynthia to heal the Psyduck on Route 210. We quickly fly to Solaceon Town, give the Psyduck the medicine, and head north towards Celestic Town, only to realize that I completely forgot to pick up the TM for Defog while I was in Pastoria City. So I fly back there, grab the TM for the man just barely inside the Great Marsh, and fly back to Solaceon. I enter the fog, use Defog, and move onwards through Route 210 North and into Celestic Town. Upon arrival, we defeat the Galactic Grunt, deliver the old charm to Cynthia's grandmother, receive the TMs for Surf, and see Cyrus briefly. Next, we need to go back to Hearthome City to battle Fantina, the Ghost-type gym leader. We fly straight there and go straight into challenge her. Her gym has no required trainers as long as you get the very, very basic math questions correct. When I first challenge her, I'm at level 39. Fantina leads with Drifblim. Drifblim has the ability Aftermath, which will deal damage to us if we defeat it with a physical move. Due to Drifblim's dual flying type, it is weak to Rock Tomb, so we use that. It takes off about 2/3 of her health, but she uses Fly. Our following Rock Tomb misses because we are faster, and Fly takes off half of our health. Drifblim drops to our subsequent Rock Tomb, and Fantina sends out Gengar, who is the victim of 2 flame charges using Confuse Rain between them. Gengar's ability is Cursed Body, giving it a chance of disabling the move that hits it. And unfortunately, this does happen on our second use to Flame Charge, so we cannot use Flame Charge to take out her final Pokemon. Last is Miss Magius, who takes good damage from our first Rock Tomb, but the combination of 2 Dazzling Gleams plus hitting ourselves in Confusion once kills us. This battle ended up taking 4 attempts, the following 2 ending in very similar ways. However, on our 4th attempt, Drifblim hits us with Fly and drops to 2 Rock Tombs. Gengar confuses us yet again, but loses to the combination of Rock Tomb followed by Flame Charge. This time, Flame Charge is not disabled. Last is Mismagius. Through the failed attempts, I've discovered that Flame Charge does much more damage than Rock Tomb against her. I use it once, which burns Mismagius. It hits us with Dazzling Gleam, and it's all up to Torch now. All he has to do is hit through her Confusion, and we win the battle. And he does. He hits through Confusion 3 out of 3 times this battle to grab us the 5th badge, the Relic Badge. Next up is Canalave City, so we fly to Jubilife and head west to Route 118. We start surfing, pick up the rare candy, and head into Canalave City, where we have another rival battle against Finn. He starts with Staravia, and Torch uses Power Up Punch. It does less than half, and he uses Double Team, allowing us to end him with a second Power Up Punch. Next is Prinplup, who falls to a single close combat. Heracross dies to Flame Wheel, and Ponyta barely survives a Power Up Punch, uses Growl, and dies to another second Power Up Punch. Last is Roselia, who is one-shot by Torch's Flame Wheel. Another easy rival battle. I didn't even lose a single hit point. We head straight to Byron's Steel Gym, clear out the trainers, and take him on. Infernape is at level 42, so I think I stand a decent chance. I have super effective moves for all 3 of his Pokemon, but his Steelix, who has the ability Sturdy, has Earthquake, which will deal massive damage to us. He starts off with Bronzor, who has 3 setup moves in Confuse Ray, Sandstorm, and Trick Room. His only attacking move is Flash Cannon, which we resist, making him the perfect Pokemon to set up Power-Up Punches on. We use 2 to start, and he starts off with Trick Room and Confuse Ray. Due to lucky crits, we get him to use 2 potions, giving us +4 attack heading into Steelix. Unfortunately, we do hit ourselves in confusion right before he dies, allowing him to set up a Sandstorm. We enter Steelix with only 67 health and get easily one-shot from Earthquake after he survives from Sturdy. The strategy is good, I just need to get slightly better luck with Bronzor. The next attempt goes much better. Bronzor starts off with Trick Room and Confuse Ray once again while we build up Power-Up Punches, and Byron uses a full restore. We snap out of confusion, forcing him to use another Confuse Ray instead of setting up Sandstorm. Due to this, we are able to enter Steelix with +4 attack, full health, and with no Sandstorm active. Due to there being no active Sandstorm, Steelix goes for Sandstorm turn 1 instead of attacking. We get him low with a 5th Power-Up Punch, and Trick Room ends, allowing us to attack first the following turn. Torch snaps out of confusion and ends Steelix with a 6th Power-Up Punch. We are now +6 attack heading into his final Bastiodon. Bastiodon is relatively harmless, having no super effective moves to hit us with, since our dual typing resists rock, removing the weakness we have from our fire typing. The worst thing it could do is crit us with Stone Edge, but I don't think that would even kill us. In addition to this, our fighting type moves are 4 times super effective against it. I know it has Sturdy, so I use Power-Up Punch instead of Close Combat. I just didn't want the defense lowering that comes from using it. He survives from Sturdy and uses Iron Defense for some reason. Not like it could have caused us trouble anyways. I checked the damage calculator after, and a crit from Stone Edge only does about 46% of our health with the max roll. He goes down very easily after that with another Power-Up Punch, and we have the Mind Badge now. 6 down, 2 to go. I head out to Lake Valor, sweep Saturn extremely easily, and head straight to Lake Verity. We clear out the grunts and take on Commander Mars. She also poses no threat. We take a Poison Fang from Golbat and an Aerial Ace from Purugly while we build up attack, but her final Bronzor falls in 1 Flame Wheel. Our last lake to check is Lake Acuity, so we fly to Celestic and make our way through Mount Coronet. On Route 216, we pick up the TM for Rock Climb and make it to Snow Point City. Before going to the lake, we have to take on the 7th gym leader, Candace. I did see the opportunity here and chose not to make a joke. I'm being mature. She is an Ice-type gym leader, and all of her Pokemon are weak to both fire and fighting, except Medicham, who might pose a small threat. Despite it maybe looking impossible, you can actually make it through the entire gym without fighting a single trainer. We take on Candace, and she was not as easy as I thought. 3 of her Pokemon have either water or ground type attacks, which we are weak to. She sends out Snover first, who is 4 times weak to Fire move. He goes down in a single Flame Wheel, and out comes Sneasel. Not being sure that Flame Wheel one-shots, I go for Close Combat to be safe. It kills, and third is Medicham. I go for Flame Wheel as he uses Bulk Up. Due to the Bulk Up, my second Flame Wheel doesn't kill, allowing him to use Brick Break. It one-shot kills us from almost full health, so we try again. This time I use Flame Wheel on Sneasel and it does kill. This time Brick Break doesn't kill us, but we die to the hail damage immediately afterwards. The only way we clear this is if we one-shot this Medicham. We go right back in a third time. Torch kills Snover with Flame Wheel, and this time uses Power Up Punch for Sneasel, which to my surprise, kills. We head into Medicham, and this time Flame Wheel does way more than half damage. He uses Brick Break, leaving us around 50 health. Since I know that Candace will use a full restore, I go for another Power Up Punch. It is resisted by Medicham, but the attack boost is enough for Flame Wheel to kill on the following turn. Last is her Abomasnow, who is 4 times weak to fire and is easily killed by a Flame Wheel. More trouble than I expected out of the Ice-type gym leader, but not bad overall. We grab the Icicle badge, and it is on to Lake Acuity. No Team Galactic grunts or commanders to beat up here, so we fly to Veilstone City to take on the Team Galactic headquarters. We grab the storage key and clear out the storage area to get the Galactic key. All the trainers go down very easily and we take on boss Cyrus. He leads with Murkrow, so we build up with Power Up Punch, tank a wing attack, losing almost half health, and finish it off with a second Power Up Punch. We start with Flame Wheel against Golbat, tank an Air Cutter which brings us down to under 1/3 health, and then finish him off with another Power Up Punch. Last is Sneasel, who is easily one-shot by Close Combat. We heal up and take on Commander Saturn immediately. Both Kadabra and Bronzor fall to a single Flame Wheel, but Toxicroak survives one and poisons us with Toxic. Due to the power of friendship, Torch purifies the poison and we finish with another Flame Wheel. She was so easy. I didn't even take any damage. We free Azelf, Mesprit, and Uxie and head straight to Mount Coronet Spear Pillar to fight Team Galactic yet again. Once getting through Mount Coronet, we discover a small issue. Immediately before fighting Mars, Jupiter, and Cyrus, you have to fight 2 Team Galactic grunts in a double battle. This is an unavoidable battle, and it will not let you fight them individually, nor will it let you fight with one Pokemon. You literally cannot progress at this point. So I went to the waterfall, caught a level 19 Magikarp, named it Useless, and used Splash the entire time. However, since level 19 Magikarp has the move Tackle, I have to show you the entire battle to prove that I only use Splash. But right now is a great time to talk about the power of friendship. I haven't talked about it yet, but if a Pokemon has high enough friendship, it can have different effects in battle. For example, it can expel status effects. It can survive on 1 health when it otherwise would have fainted. It can evade attacks at an increased rate, including moves with 100% accuracy, and I am almost certain that it has a higher chance to land a critical attack. I just kind of noticed throughout this run that I was critting more than 1 out of every 24 turns, so I drew that connection, although I'm not entirely sure that it is connected. You have seen this already, and you will continue to see it throughout the run. This was just the perfect chance to talk about it. The battle goes down with little trouble, so I remove Magikarp from my party and release it, and we head on to what I believe to be the 3rd hardest section of this challenge. The double battle with Mars and Jupiter, followed by the battle with Cyrus. Individually, these battles are not that hard to do. The real kicker here is that you have no chance to save in between these battles. After the double battle, you have to go straight into Cyrus. That means that if we die on Cyrus, we have to redo the double battle every single time. Also, despite it being a double battle, if Infernape faints, you instantly lose the battle. Even if your partner would have ended the battle on the following turn, you still lose, which makes no sense. To add to all that, your rival uses Munchlax, which is absolute garbage and is extremely unhelpful. He has other Pokemon if Munchlax faints, which are much better, but it takes a while for him to faint. My first attempt went decently. The strategy for the double battle is to kill all 3 of Jupiter's Pokemon, making it a 2-on-1. Unfortunately, Mars' second Pokemon is a Purugly with Dig, who survives a Power-Up Punch and then takes out Torch. The first idea I had was to build up power-up punches by killing Munchlax, forcing him to use a better Pokemon. Jupiter's Bronzong has Extra Sensory, which one-shot kills my Infernape, so I need it to not ever use Extra Sensory while I build up. When I tried this, the luckiest thing happened. Not only did I get incredibly lucky in the double battle, but the Cyrus battle as well. First turn, Torch uses Power-Up Punch on Munchlax. It crits, allowing it to be a one-shot kill. Incredibly lucky, since it definitely doesn't kill without that. One of the Bronzors uses Confuse Ray while the other sets up a Reflect, so I don't take any damage. Our rival luckily sends out Staraptor, who is a much better teammate than Munchlax. Our risk has paid off. It has Intimidate, so both Bronzor lose some attack upon it entering. I land a weak Power-Up Punch on the dangerous Bronzor, and Staraptor uses Close Combat on the weak one. I really wish he had attacked the left one, since it definitely would have killed it, but that's okay. One Bronzor attacks Staraptor while the other sets up Light Screen, so we are still fine. I hit myself in confusion as Staraptor finishes off the weak Bronzor with a Close Combat. The other one just confuses Staraptor, so still going great. Marsh sends out Purugly, who is a massive pain with Dig, which is why I prefer to fight it 1-on-2. I choose to use Power-Up Punch on it rather than Bronzor, but it outspeeds Staraptor with Dig, forcing the Close Combat to land on Bronzor. That is okay, but I know that Dig is going to hit me since Staraptor is immune to ground moves. Bronzor finally uses Extra Sensory, but uses it on Staraptor for some reason. It definitely would have killed me. Staraptor's Quick Claw activates, but it uses Close Combat on Purugly while it is underground, making it miss. I finish off Bronzor with a Power-Up Punch and survive Dig with a surprisingly high amount of health. Golbat comes out next, who is a much bigger pain than Purugly since it has Air Cutter, so I hit it with a Flame Wheel and one-shot kill due to a lucky critical hit. Purugly decides to attack Staraptor with a Body Slam and takes it out. Finn sends out Heracross and Mars sends out her final Pokemon, Skuntank. I don't want to kill it and take Aftermath damage, so I go for Flame Wheel, leaving it low after it uses its berry to heal up. Purugly goes for Aerial Ace, but attacks Heracross instead. Heracross comes in clutch, killing Skuntank with Brick Break, and taking the Aftermath damage. What a good friend. I end Purugly with a Power-Up Punch as Heracross Karate Chops Thin Air for no good reason. Last is Golbat, who is definitely a threat, but we take it down with one Flame Wheel, winning us the battle. Luckily, Finn heals us before the Cyrus fight, or else this would be impossible without leveling up a bunch more. Cyrus leads with Honchkrow, and I start off with Flame Wheel. It does less than half health, but we manage to evade Air Cutter due to the power of friendship. I go for Power-Up Punch, since I know it is a 2-shot kill from here, allowing us to get to +2 attack by the end. We again manage to evade Air Cutter with the power of friendship, and before we can land another attack, Cyrus heals him with a full restore. We land another 2 Power-Up Punches, finishing him off. Already, that is insanely lucky. I don't know the exact odds of friendship evasion, but it can't be very high. We are now at +3 attack, which becomes +2 when Gyarados comes out. Gyarados resists both our fire and fighting type moves, so I use Rock Tomb. Shockingly, it almost kills. Gyarados hits us with a waterfall, almost killing us. We hang on, Cyrus heals Gyarados, and we land a Power-Up Punch. I was anticipating him healing his Pokemon, so I took the chance to get more attack to make up for what was lost from Intimidate. I finish him off with one final Power-Up Punch. He sends out Weavile, who is 4 times weak to fighting, so one Power-Up Punch finishes him off. Crobat is last, but we are now at +5 attack. We outspeed and one-shot kill him with Flame Wheel. I can't believe we got the double battle on the second attempt, and then Cyrus battle on the first attempt. Although, if either of those Air Cutters had landed, we would have been dead to Waterfall, so it was very lucky. I talked to Dialga, but it turns out that you can just run from the battle. We take one step into Mount Coronet and use an escape rope. For some reason, you can't fly away from Spear Pillar, so this is the quickest way out. We fly to Pastoria City and make our way to Sunny Shore City, the site of the 8th gym. We talk to the gym leader in the lighthouse and go straight in. The gym trainers were easy, so it's time to take on the 8th and final gym. Despite being an electric gym, she has both Raichu and Octillery who know water moves that we have to look out for. We reach level 52 from one of the trainers in the gym and replace Rock Tomb with Acrobatics, since Cyrus's was the last Gyarados that we have to deal with. I gave Infernape a Cherry Berry to hold because I know that Raichu always goes for Nuzzle turn 1, which is guaranteed paralysis. It is now time to take on the gym leader, Volkner. Volkner leads with a Raichu who knows Surf, so I have to try to take it out ASAP. We go for Power Up Punch as he goes for Nuzzle, and the Cherry Berry removes our paralysis. The second Power Up Punch takes him out, and next out is Ambipom, who hits us with Fake Out. We then evade a Thunderbolt, which by the way is a 100% accurate move due to the power of friendship, and nail him with a Power Up Punch. Despite it being super effective, he survives due to his Chople Berry, or Chopple Berry, I'm not sure, which lowers the power of one super effective fighting type move. He hits us with one Thunderbolt and then falls to a second Power Up Punch. Next out is Octillery, and I will 100% faint if I take an Octazooka, so I decide to play it safe and take him out with Close Combat. The reason that this is risky is because I was not sure if his last Pokemon, Luxray, would outspeed me. If he did and he attacked me, my defense was now lowered from using Close Combat. Luxray comes in, and my attack is lowered from Intimidate, so now we are only at +3. However, we outspeed Luxray with a Close Combat and get the win. We got the 8th and final badge. All that's left now is to become champion. We heal up, get the Waterfall TM, then pick up the TM for Flamethrower at the Veilstone Mart. While it is available to pick up elsewhere, you do have to fight a few optional trainers, so we can't do that. Despite being a 90 base power move, and Flame Wheel only being a 60 base power move, in fights where I'm ramping up my attack with Power Up Punch, Flame Wheel becomes the more powerful attack. To be exact, Flamethrower is more powerful when I have 0 Power Up Punches set up, they are equally powerful when I have 1, and is actually inferior to Flame Wheel in damage when I have 2 or more. This is because Flame Wheel is a physical move and Flamethrower is a special move, meaning that its power only increases when my special attack increases, and Power Up Punch raises normal attack. However, I checked the base stats of my Infernape, and since the special attack is slightly higher than my attack due to my rash nature, they are not quite tied at +1. To be exact, Flamethrower would do about 9.6 more damage here, so only at +2 does Flame Wheel become superior, although that difference is negligible based on the situation. We clear all of Route 223 and Victory Road, and we are ready to take on the Elite Four. However, we do have to fight our rival before that. Finn leads with Staraptor, so we are -1 in attack from Intimidate. We start with Power Up Punch as Staraptor sets up a Rain Dance for his incoming Empoleon. Another Power Up Punch gets him below half health, and we evade a Pluck due to the power of friendship. Another Power Up Punch takes him out. Next out is Snorlax, who survives 1 Power Up Punch and hits us with Yawn. I take him down with one last Power Up Punch, and then fall asleep as Empoleon enters. Empoleon uses Charm turn 1, getting us down to +2 attack. He then hits us with Brine, dealing massive damage and leaving us with just a sliver of health. We wake up and one-hit kill him with Close Combat. Roserade falls to a Flame Wheel, Rapidash falls to a Close Combat, and Heracross falls to a Flame Wheel. First try victory. We got pretty lucky that Empoleon didn't attack us turn 1, but I am pretty happy with that. I take a small trip around the region collecting all 18 rare candies available. I was able to do this thanks to an extremely helpful video from Gamer Guru, which I will link in the description as long as I remember. If not, the video is called All Rare Candy Locations in Pokemon Brilliant Diamond and Pokemon Shining Pearl. There are an additional 7 available, but they are locked in the post-game. I'm currently at level 60, so I believe that 18 candies should be enough to get us through the Elite Four if they are needed. Of course I will try without, and then use 1 or 2, try some more, etc. The reason I'm doing this is because I have to save after each member for safety, and at that point, there is no way back without losing if I get stuck. If you lose a battle, your friendship goes down, lowering the chance for one of the effects to happen, such as evasion, status purification, etc. First up in the Elite Four is Aaron. He is a bug-type trainer, and 4 of his 5 Pokemon are weak to fire. I know that his Dustox always starts with Light Screen followed by Toxic, so I let Torch hold a Pecha Berry. This also makes Dustox the perfect Pokemon to set up on. Dustox comes out first as we go for 2 power-up punches. He uses Light Screen followed by Toxic, which is immediately removed by our Pecha Berry. Now that I am +2 in attack, I decide to start attacking. By the way, Dustox quad resists fighting moves, meaning that with the healing from its item Black Sludge, we are doing almost 0 damage. After the second power-up punch, Dustox has only lost about 2 or 3 hit points. Time for absolute destruction. Dustox falls in 1 Flame Wheel, Heracross falls in 1 Flame Wheel, Beautifly falls in 1 Flame Wheel, and Vespiquen falls in 1 Flame Wheel. Last out is Drapion, who is not weak to Flame Wheel, so I use Close Combat. It outspeeds me and uses Earthquake, taking me to 1/3 health. However, Close Combat is a 1-hit KO, and that is Aaron. Very easy. Next is Bertha. She is a different story. She is a Ground-type trainer, but 2 of her Pokemon know Water-type moves, and 4 of her 5 have a move that is super effective against Torch. Quagsire has both Surf and Earthquake, Golem has Earthquake, Wishcash has both Hydro Pump and Bulldoze, and Hippowdon has Earthquake. This is going to be absolutely brutal. I gave the Fist Plate back to Infernape and went in. She leads with Quagsire, so we start with Power Up Punch, which does almost no damage. She goes for Toxic, which misses. I land another Power Up Punch, and she again goes for Toxic and misses again. Toxic has 90% accuracy, so unless that 1% chance of both missing consecutively occurred, this was caused by the power of friendship. In fact, it was very likely only due to that. I go for a third Power-Up Punch as she goes for Earthquake, which also misses. It is a 100% accurate move, so we know for sure that this one was due to the power of friendship. I land a 4th Power-Up Punch, still not taking it out. It doesn't resist our move, it's just that bulky. It hits us with Earthquake, almost killing us, as we take it out with a 5th Power-Up Punch. We are now +5 on attack, giving us +250% physical damage boost. This is almost the best case scenario. Only thing better would have been that last Earthquake missing. She sends out Wishcash, who we finish off with Close Combat. With how low we are on health, there is no reason to play it safe as we die from any attack at this point. She has 3 Pokemon left: Sudowoodo, Golem, and Hippowdon. The only chance we have at victory is if she sends out Sudowoodo or Golem next. Golem has to either miss his first attack or use Rock Polish, since it has Sturdy and will survive our attack. If Hippowdon comes out first, its ability Sandstream whips up a Sandstorm, and we probably lose to that before his team comes down. Luckily, Golem comes out next. I land a Power-Up Punch, leaving it at 1 health due to Sturdy. All we need here is for Golem to either not attack or miss his attack. Neither of these happen, and we fall to Golem's Earthquake. I made several attempts, but just could not replicate that luck on Quagsire. It is time to use some rare candies, since after our first attempt, we can see that we are nowhere near being able to take her on yet. I got the God RNG, and it still wasn't enough. I made the decision to use 3 candies at a time, since I would rather get through at a lower level than just level up straight to level 79. It is more challenging and fun that way. Additionally, I will be making about 5 attempts before I call it quits at each level. However, if I see a new strategy or a run is incredibly close, and I think I can do the battle with slightly better luck, I will do more than 5. However, I have one last trick up my sleeve before any of this. For this, we have to go way back to the beginning of the video. Remember when I got stuck on that double battle against the trainer with Gyarados? The first thing that I tried was the move Grass Knot. Well, it just so happens that Grass Knot is super effective against every single member on this team. It is also 4 times super effective against both Quagsire and Wishcash. I checked the damage calculator to see how much I would do at my current level, and it's actually doable with Grass Knot. I have a one-hit KO move against everyone except Golem because of Sturdy and Hippowdon. Grass Knot can't one-hit KO Hippowdon unless it crits at this level. I kept checking the levels, and there is no chance for one-hit KO until level 65, and it doesn't become likely until level 68. So I'm going to either need a crit here, or for Golem or Hippowdon to miss one attack. That is a pretty decent chance, so I go for it. I teach Grass Knot to Torch in place of Rock Tomb. I checked every remaining Pokemon, and Rock Tomb literally will never be my best move. It is useless the rest of the run. So I give it up and challenge Bertha with my new strategy. The strategy is to equip a Pecha Berry to deal with Toxic, buying me one turn to land a power-up punch on Quagsire. I can then finish him off with Grass Knot. Sudowoodo is a one-hit KO with Close Combat. Golem would be a one-hit KO with Grass Knot if not for Sturdy, so I will take that turn to set up an additional power-up punch. Whiscash is a one-hit KO with Close Combat, and with Hippowdon, I just use Grass Knot and pray. This strategy works every single time, so I just need to rinse and repeat until I either get a miss from Golem or Hippowdon, either one of them not attack, or the final Grass Knot crits. And then I came to a realization. Golem's Earthquake is not a range, but a guaranteed one-hit KO when I am -1 in defense. I have to be -1 in defense because my only move that can one-hit KO Whiscash is Close Combat. This means that I would need both Golem and Hippowdon to miss their Earthquakes in order for me to win. Either that, or I would need Golem to miss and for my Grass Knot to crit Hippowdon. This just isn't going to work. I gave it over 10 attempts, and it always ended the same way. I never got a single miss from Golem and died to him every single time. I checked the levels to see how many times I would have to level up to have a chance to survive Golem's Earthquake while at -1, and I would have to be level 82 to have a 12.5% chance to survive it. I could also just equip a Focus Sash, but I would not be able to one-hit KO Whiscash without my power-up punches. Then I had my best idea yet. For a second, I solved the puzzle. I could find a way to get through this battle, mind you, it was still very RNG dependent, without resetting 1 billion times. The answer? Stealth Rock. By using Stealth Rock turn 1, I can now one-hit KO both Golem and Whiscash with only one power-up punch. Despite resisting Stealth Rock, Golem takes 1/16 of his health points when coming in, allowing Grass Knot a guaranteed one-hit KO. Whiscash also only takes 1/16 damage, which makes our Close Combat a range with a 31% chance to kill. However, due to needing an extra move to set up against Quagsire, we now need it to use Toxic turn 1 and 2, missing one of them. We need either to survive the range of Whiscash's Hydro Pump or for it to miss. If Close Combat doesn't one-hit KO Whiscash, we either need to survive the range of its Hydro Pump or we need it to miss. Then, we need to either crit Grass Knot against Hippowdon or for it to miss. However, if it misses, we then fall the following turn to Sand before taking him out. Alternatively, we could equip a Leftovers, which solves this problem, but then I would need to naturally evade 2 Toxics from Quagsire. I decide that it is more likely to land a crit, so I decide on retrying over and over again until we get a crit. I hate this strategy, but it is 100 times better than over-leveling until we just sweep the entire fight. However, after trying this many times, it just isn't going to happen. So I did some calculations and discovered that level 65 was the magic number. We get a guaranteed one-hit KO on Whiscash, and Grass Knot has a 62.5% chance to one-hit KO Hippowdon. So I take a shot, and it goes as follows. We set up Stealth Rock turn 1 as she misses an Earthquake. This is one of the first times I have ever seen her not use Toxic turn 1, by the way. We use one power-up punch, and we are now fully set up to sweep her team. Quagsire again misses an Earthquake, which again is 100% accurate, meaning we get 2 back-to-back misses only due to the power of friendship. As expected, Quagsire falls to Grass Knot, and Whiscash comes out next. Due to its Rindo Berry, which reduces the damage of super effective grass-type attacks, we have to use Close Combat, which kills anyways. Next up is Golem, who takes damage to Stealth Rock, allowing us to kill it with Grass Knot without taking damage. Next is Sudowoodo, who falls easily in one close combat. Last is Hippowdon, who whips up a Sandstorm but is a one-hit KO with Grass Knot. She was simply too heavy to live. If you don't know, Grass Knot does not have a base power, it does more damage the heavier the Pokemon is. So for a Pokemon like Hippowdon, that is perfect.
She thick.
After many struggles and probably 4+ hours spent on just her, we have taken down Bertha. Although, she wasn't the hardest Elite Four member, as that is yet to come. Next up is Flint, the Fire-type Elite Four member. I replaced Stealth Rock with Flamethrower since Flint has a Drifblim who resists or is immune to all of my attacks. I also give Torch a Chesto Berry to hold since Rapidash loves to use Hypnosis. Additionally, it is holding a wide lens, making Hypnosis 70% accurate instead of 60% accurate. Flint starts with Rapidash, who I plan to use to set up Infernape. Rapidash outspeeds me, which I was not expecting, and hits me with Hypnosis. My berry removes it, and I hit him with a power-up punch. He goes for Hypnosis again, but it misses. My second power-up punch takes off a good chunk of his health. He hits me with a weak poison jab, and I finish him off with a third power-up punch. Lopunny comes out next. Shout out Ludwig. She is another one-shot kill with power-up punch, so we are now +4 in attack. Third out is Steelix. We go for Flamethrower to not lower our defense, and it takes him out. Fourth is Drifblim, and as it is not affected by fighting moves, and it resists grass, we go for Flamethrower. I know that it will not one-shot kill, but he literally cannot attack me. His 4 moves are Strength Sap, Minimize, Baton Pass, and Will-O-Wisp. Strength Sap only extends the fight while he is doomed anyways. Minimize is mildly annoying and probably the worst move he could use. Baton Pass just gives me 1 free turn to attack Infernape, and as a fire type, I cannot be burned from Will-O-Wisp. I deal big damage with Flamethrower, which just gets healed up by his berry. He goes for Strength Sap, getting him back to full health and lowering my attack. We must be in a speed tie because he hits me first with Strength Sap, I hit with Flamethrower, he uses Minimize, and I finish him off with 1 final Flamethrower. We have lost some attack, but luckily we only have 1 Pokemon left. Last out is Infernape, who also outspeeds us and gets us very low with close combat. I land my own close combat as he hangs on with his Focus Sash. Knowing that he will heal and not wanting to waste the PP of my own close combat, I choose to use Power-Up Punch while he heals. In hindsight, now that the Focus Sash is destroyed, I would have killed with close combat, but I guess in the moment, I forgot that the Focus Sash works differently than the ability Sturdy and can only be used once. Power-Up Punch gets him low, but doesn't quite kill. He outspeeds with Mach Punch, but thanks to the good old power of friendship, Torch conjures up a Focus Sash of his own and survives, or rather, quote, toughed it out so you wouldn't feel sad. Due to this, I'm able to end the fight with 1 last Power-Up Punch. That was actually our first attempt. Very happy that I made it through that one without any more rare candies or without resetting a bunch of times. Last in the Elite Four is the worst one though, Lucian. Lucian is a Psychic-type Elite Four member. Every single one of his Pokemon know a super effective move against me. Other than the champion, I expected this to be the worst battle in the entire game. His 5 Pokemon are Mr. Mime, Girafarig, Medicham, Alakazam, and Bronzong. Mr. Mime, Girafarig, and Alakazam all know Psychic, Medicham knows Zen Headbutt, and Bronzong knows Earthquake. These moves almost all kill me from full health, so I'm going to have to set up and then try to sweep if I want any chance at all at victory. My initial idea was to set up a few power-up punches on Mr. Mime, as it always uses Light Screen turn 1 and usually uses Reflect turn 2. However, I simply do not have the damage to kill the rest of the team if all of my physical and special moves are doing half damage. Additionally, Mr. Mime is holding a Light Clay, which means that these effects will last for 8 turns instead of the normal 4. In almost every way, this Mr. Mime is the perfect setup Pokemon for a Psychic team. Well, almost. I still have a few tricks up my sleeve. Mr. Mime's dual Psychic Fairy typing leaves it with only 3 weaknesses: Fairy, Poison, and Ghost. I know that Infernape cannot learn any Fairy moves, and I do not have the TM for Poison Jab, the only Poison move it can learn, but that it can learn Shadow Claw. Shadow Claw is a 70 base power, 100 accuracy Ghost type move that has a tripled chance of a critical hit, 1 in 8 instead of 1 in 24. Also, for every Pokemon except Bronzong, it will be my only super effective move. However, this still is not enough. Despite being 7 levels above Mr. Mime, Shadow Claw is still not a one-hit KO. However, I do have exactly one move that is. Let me introduce you to something you're probably already familiar with: Flare Blitz. This 120 power, 100 accuracy move is Infernape's signature fire move. The only downside to it is that you take 1/3 of damage dealt back in recoil. While not being available as a TM in this game, it is learned by Infernape once reaching level 68. However, I cannot stop there because it does not become a one-hit KO until I reach level 71. So, I use 5 rare candies, replace Flamethrower with Flare Blitz, and replace Grass Knot with Shadow Claw. We are now ready to take on Lucian again. I double-checked my range calculations and developed a plan. Mr. Mime is a range, but it turns out that it is actually better if I don't kill. It allows me to set up a power-up punch, guaranteeing a few of the ranges later in the battle. Also, Close Combat, Flare Blitz, and Shadow Claw are all physical moves, so Light Screen does literally nothing. We get past Mr. Mime and out comes his second Pokemon, Alakazam. By far the Pokemon I am the most worried about. Its Psychic and Future Sight are both guaranteed one-hit KOs on me, so I have to kill it before it attacks. Unfortunately, it outspeeds me and always goes for Future Sight turn 1. Future Sight is a 120 power, 100 accuracy Psychic move that hits at the end of 2 turns in the future. However, it can miss from the power of Friendship. Banking on that, we continue. Alakazam falls to 1 Shadow Claw. Girafarig is immune to Shadow Claw due to its dual normal typing, so we kill it with 1 Close Combat. This is the one that was a range before we got that power-up punch in. 4th is Medicham, who falls to another Shadow Claw. However, we take the Future Sight just before Bronzong comes out, and we lose. I checked what my speed would be if I used all my rare candies, and I still would not outspeed Alakazam. It has both max IVs and EVs in speed. Due to how consistent this strategy is, I elect to keep trying it until Future Sight misses. Lo and behold, on our 4th attempt, it works. We evade the 100 accuracy move due to the power of Friendship. I genuinely believe that we would have had to leave Victory Road and train a bunch more levels if not for this mechanic. While it did save us in the fight against Flint as well, that could easily have been done with a smarter strategy, not relying on us to save it. But we are done with the Elite Four. Lucian was definitely the hardest, but he took much less time than Bertha because she was simply more annoying and had smarter AI than Lucian had. There is only one fight left until we have beat the game, and that is Cynthia, the champion of the Sinnoh region. She is widely regarded to be the hardest champion out of any Pokemon game ever, so this is going to be a good one. She has 6 Pokemon, all fully maxed with EVs and IVs, all with items that partner with the Pokemon perfectly, and her team is almost perfectly balanced. Only a single type is repeated throughout her whole team, and almost each of her Pokemon have a different highest stat. Spiritomb with defense, Roserade with special attack, Gastrodon with HP, Milotic with special defense, Garchomp with attack, and then despite being quite fast, Lucario's speed is slightly lower than its highest stat, special attack. She has this reputation for a reason, and it's because she is insanely hard. This is going to take a long time strategizing and planning to have a good chance. We are currently at level 71 and have 9 rare candies left if we need them. However, if it is plausible to have a chance without that, I will try without. Like Lucian, she also has 5 Pokemon that can hit me with super effective moves. Spiritomb with Psychic, Gastrodon with Scald and Earthquake, Milotic with Scald, Roserade with Dazzling Gleam, and Garchomp with Earthquake. 5 of their moves are one-hit KOs against me at level 71, and I can only one-hit KO 2 of her 6 Pokemon. However, if I'm at level 80 while holding a Fist Plate, I can now one-hit KO 4 of her 6 Pokemon. Due to taking huge recoil damage from Flare Blitz in order to land these one-hit KOs, that means that I will not be able to take much damage, if any at all. I need to find a way to get a one-hit KO on all 6 Pokemon. After a few failed attempts from being one-shot killed from Melodic Scald and Garchomp's Earthquake, the solution hit me. Quite literally, in fact. What I had to do was get hit. Now, while that may sound crazy at first, hear me out. Cynthia leads with Spiritomb, who is by far the weakest Pokemon she has. Despite having a super effective move against me with Psychic, it actually does only half my health. Being a Ghost-type Pokemon, it is immune to fighting, so I cannot set up with Power-Up Punch. However, I can set up with Swords Dance. I picked up the TM ages ago thinking that I might need it eventually, and I was right. Swords Dance raises our attack stat by 2. Even without Swords Dance, Flare Blitz is still a one-hit KO against Spiritomb, however, it is not a one-hit KO against some of the Pokemon later on. So, we replace Power-Up Punch with Swords Dance and start doing attempts. Entering Cynthia, we are level 80 and our moves are Close Combat, Shadow Claw, Flare Blitz, and Swords Dance. But will it be enough? I have calculated all the ranges and not all are guaranteed. Melodic is only a 50% chance to KO, and Garchomp is around a 90% chance to KO. I was very confident with those odds, but I ran across a problem that I was not anticipating having. Recoil from Flare Blitz was killing us after its second and last use. My current plan was to set up with one Swords Dance, tank a Psychic, and then sweep through using Close Combat for everyone except for Spiritomb and Roselia, where I would use Flare Blitz. Spiritomb has 186 health, so I take 62 damage from recoil from Flare Blitz. I don't know exactly how much health Roserade has, but I know that it has at least 160, so at the very least I take 53 damage from the recoil from Flare Blitz. The reason that I do not know is because I never survived the recoil a single time, so it could have been much more. At level 80, Torch has 235 health. Psychic from Spiritomb does between 126 and 150 damage. Even with a minimum roll of 126, that leaves me at only 63 health after we kill Spiritomb, which I'm not positive is enough to get me through Roserade. And even if it is, it would leave me at the very most with 10 health. And Garchomp has the ability Rough Skin, which deals 1/8 of the attacker's health whenever their attacks make contact. So if I want to survive Garchomp, I have to leave Roserade with at the very least 30 or 31 health. I tried this a few times, since if I can get an invade on Psychic, I could easily clean up her whole team. After a few runs dying the exact same way on Roserade from Flare Blitz, I tried something else. Something I had initially thought about, but considered not good enough. The Mago Berry. It restores the health of the holder in battle, but if the holder dislikes the taste, the holder becomes confused. Luckily, I know that berry taste corresponds with Pokemon's nature, so I did a quick Google search and found out that the Mago Berry has a sweet taste. According to the chart, the only natures that dislike the sweet taste are brave, relaxed, quiet, sassy, and serious. Since Torch has a rash nature, it means that I will not get confused. Also, this berry heals so much health. I was amazed at how much it healed when I first saw it in battle. However, there is a downside to giving this berry to Torch. We cannot have the Fist Plate anymore. It turns out that without the Fist Plate, Melodic is no longer a guaranteed one-hit KO. In fact, we only hit the range 1 in 4 attempts. In addition to this, Garchomp was no longer a guaranteed one-hit KO. In fact, Close Combat only has a 1 in 8 chance to be a one-hit KO without it. I did a few attempts, and soon realized that barring a miss from either Garchomp or Spiritomb, this simply will not work. So I went back to the Fist Plate and did a few more attempts. Well, it turns out that I'd made one small but very critical error while calculating the ranges on Roserade. Despite remembering to do it for all 5 of the other Pokemon, I completely forgot to add the +2 in attack that I received from Swords Dance. With this, close combat easily kills. It's not even a range. In fact, there is no reason for me to even use Flare Blitz here. This was the one change that I needed to win this battle. However, I didn't realize it. So I sat there for another 20 minutes doing attempts and waiting for a Psychic Miss. Until one run, I was so low on health that I decided to risk it for a crit with close combat. I almost reset, and I was shocked when I saw it kill. It was not a crit, and according to my calculations, it should only be doing 86% of her health on a max roll. I stopped for a second, took a better look at the chart, and saw my error immediately. I facepalmed, then finished the battle, and this is how it went. Cynthia starts with Spiritomb, and I set up with Swords Dance. It connects with Psychic, getting a very high roll of 140 damage. Not starting out great. I take him down with Flare Blitz, taking another 62 damage. Only one Pokemon in, and I am down to just 33 health out of 235. Not looking great. Only one Pokemon in. Second is Gastrodon, who is bested by a single close combat. Third out is Melodic, who suffers the exact same fate. Fourth is Roserade, and being so low on health and aware that I cannot survive using Flare Blitz, I risk it for the crit on close combat, which surprisingly killed without a crit due to what I explained earlier. Lucario is 5th, and while he is decently fast, he is no match for Infernape's speed and is destroyed by the super effective close combat. Last but not least is Cynthia's Garchomp. While it is the fastest Pokemon she has, we are still faster. Infernape has 108 base speed, while Garchomp only has 102. We outspeed and one-hit KO with our 5th and final close combat. It is over. We are the champion. We have successfully beaten the entirety of Pokemon Brilliant Diamond using only our starter Pokemon. We did not use any cheats or exploits. We did not use any other Pokemon in battle besides the one Magikarp that used only Splash because it is required to progress, and we did not use any items in battle, only held items. To be honest, this was a lot harder than I thought it would be. It was my first Pokemon challenge ever in this game, and only my 3rd solo Pokemon challenge ever after I did a starter only run and a Wobbuffet only run in Pokemon Shield. I knew Infernape was a great Pokemon, so I did make the challenge a relatively easy one. Overall, this took over 16 hours of recording / calculations for a total in-game time of 10 hours and 1 minute. I had sort of made it a goal of mine to finish in under 10 hours, and we got so close. I don't really care about that much though, so it's fine. By the end, Infernape was level 80, which was higher than I was expecting to need to get to, but being weak to so many powerful moves that all of the Elite Four / champion used, it makes complete sense why we needed to get there. That is going to conclude this video. I really enjoyed making it and editing it, and I hope that you enjoyed watching it. It took about 60 hours roughly between audio and video, so between 75 and 80 hours overall. It was my first video ever on this channel, but I hope to make more like it soon. Feel free to put other challenges in the comments that you want me to do, and it doesn't just have to be a solo challenge. For example, you could challenge me to beat the game with only a team of Starlies. Stuff like that. Make it reasonable for a beginner at these challenges like myself. While I am very familiar with the Sinnoh region, having played it a lot as a kid, the originals, I still have a lot to learn. I have another idea that I might work on in the meantime though, so more videos like this are coming soon. I will probably be making an announcement video about this channel and this video on my main channel, so let me know if you are coming from there or if you found this video another way. That will be all for today, and I will see you next time.